The recent Iowa caucus is beautiful evidence of just how unprepared the mainstream media and the DNC has been for the rise of Bernie's campaign and the mass support behind him. They love this idea that nobody's really in support of him, and anybody that is some basement dwelling white boy, closeted racist, misogynist, gamer gate type dude or something like that. And they want so badly to push the narrative that Biden is their candidate, that Warren is their candidate, or what have you. But it seems that Biden did terribly. Warren lost out to Bernie, and Buttigieg lost out to Bernie, and Pete Buttigieg, otherwise known as hashtag Mayor Cheat, has been put under a bit of firestorm because of apparent attempts at rigging this and kind of pushing the narrative in his direction. His premature celebration and all of the posts that he's made on Twitter that would give you the idea that he won, which he didn't. All evidence points to Bernie Sanders winning, and yet CNN and the rest of the mainstream media and the DNC had this ridiculous meltdown as they started to realize that Bernie actually has a chance of winning, and they really don't want that to happen. So they've been going out of their way to try and push the narrative away from that, and started doing quote-unquote quality control and doing all of this other nonsense regarding this shady app to cheat their way away from Bernie. Even though it seems that he has such massive, powerful, strong support, he's clearly the only candidate with enough power behind him that would actually be able to stand up to Donald Trump. But of course, they don't want that. So just like as ever, they have this media bias against Bernie. Now, I'm good. This sounds like it might be a rant video, but honestly, I just want to talk about their biases and talk about how they are afraid. They are clearly in desperation because the State of the Union is going to be coming up, and there's a whole lot of other political stuff that's going to happen, and New Hampshire is going to be next. They want to push the narrative away. They do not want to print a story that shows that Bernie Sanders won. They want to print a story at a potential Russian meddling or glitches in the system, because it's totally impossible that the people want Bernie. But their desperation, while it is kind of demoralizing, disheartening, and kind of causes you to pause because these are the people who are in control of the system, it also makes you happy when you realize that they are shaking in their boots because they see the movement behind Bernie. They see him packing out rallies. They see him talking to the people. They see how online he has such massive support. They see how Bernie Sanders is killing it in the polls, and they are scared. And that is because of ordinary people like you and me supporting him, donating him, making calls, doing all of this stuff. Whether it be making stupid YouTube videos promoting Bernie Sanders or donating or whatever, what you do matters. And that is the point of this video. That is the point of my discussion right now. What we do matters in this. We cannot back down. We cannot become disheartened. Yes, the system is controlled by people who want to rig it in their favor. Yes, it is true that they do not care anymore about trying to seem impartial, fair, or anything else like that. This is clear corruption, as clear as day, and they simply do not care anymore. So I say we shouldn't care anymore either. We should worry about campaigning for Bernie. We should fight for him and make it so impossible for them to ignore him that they have to give him the primary. We need to show the world, we need to show the entire world, not just America, but the whole world, everybody around you, you need to show them that Bernie Sanders is the one that will defeat Donald Trump. He has the support. He has the policy. He is the anti-Trump that we were looking for. He is the one that will stand up against him and his horrendous policies. Bernie Sanders has already expanded the left in America and worldwide as a result. He is easily the most beloved politician in the history of this country in a very, very long time. It's been years since any senator, any politician has had this much adoration behind him, and that is what scares them, because they wish that Warren had this. They wish that Buttigieg would have this. They wish that Biden had this. And so all of the cheating, all of the lying, all of the tabloid stories pushed, even when they jumped on the Joe Rogan thing, it all shows their massive desperation. And the Joe Rogan thing is a perfect example of just how great a candidate Bernie is. You know, Joe Rogan represents the average American mind, the average person, the average Joe type of person. Even if he really isn't an average Joe, he thinks and talks and acts like the rest of them, and a lot of people relate to him. So when I saw the left and leftists online pushing for Bernie to rescind the endorsement from Joe Rogan and causing an enormous firestorm, people calling him a racist, a sexist, a transphobe, and such like that, in spite of the fact that Joe Rogan isn't somebody to take seriously, because like half of his podcasts, or even he said like 90% of his podcasts, he does high, he does the on some kind of drunk or whatever, sipping beers or whatever. Like, this is just chill talk and chatting and whatnot, and that chill bro talk kind of thing gets to people and spreads that idea. And there are Joe Rogan fans who are now going to be voting for Bernie, and I firmly believe that this movement from Joe Rogan's endorsement of Bernie Sanders is one of the things that pushed him to the top in the Iowa caucus, and will continue to push him, because Bernie connects to the people. The people are not perfect leftists. The people are not hardline Democrats. The people are average American citizens with their own problems, their own issues, their own ideological concerns. They feel disenfranchised by the system. And this neo-lib, centrist, pro-establishment narrative that comes from Pete Buttigieg, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, and the rest of them, that comes from CNN, is not helping people. It insists that the problems in our system are natural and are supposed to be there, and there's nothing that we can do about them. That this massive student loan debt, ridiculously overpriced colleges and education is just the way of things. That the fact that a child who needs surgery, or has a relative who needs surgery, will go out of their way to sell lemonade or what have you to help pay for that surgery, and it becomes this big story, this big success story, and everybody loves it, and it makes people feel good. And there was a video from Somewhere News who explained that these are actually dystopian, because why in the world does the child have to do these crazy things just to help pay for a surgery in the first place? You know, this is not good. This is not the way of things, and we know it. We all know it. A better world is possible, but you have to not only believe in it, you have to be active enough to make it happen. Contrary to what this neo-lib, centrist media will tell you, there are people who care, who want a better system, who want a better world. Bernie is one of them. Bernie's not the only one, though, because if he was the only one, then he would not gain this kind of traction. He is followed by millions of people who all say, I care, I want a better world, I want a better country. And you have to demand that too. I demand that too. I'm tired of seeing families fall apart due to medical expenses. I'm tired of seeing people's lives ruined because they wanted to improve it by going to college, but actually ended up doing the opposite and would have to get a ridiculous amount of scholarships and be a ridiculously amazing student just to be able to pay for school, just to be able to make it in life, you know? I'm tired of seeing how we have ridiculously rich people who can game the system, who can commit as many crimes as they want to, rape, murder, theft, and get away scot-free basically just because they won life's lottery. I am tired of seeing criminal politicians get away simply because they're too rich and powerful to be stopped. I want justice in our society. I want a better society. And I demand it. And that is why I support Bernie Sanders. And that is why you need to support Bernie Sanders too. This is encouragement. This is not ranting. This is motivation. Get up. Make a change. Don't settle, because that's what they want. They want you to be satisfied. That's why they force positive nonsense drivel down our throats. That's why they want you to believe in things like The Secret. That's why they want you to lap up like a good little doggy all of the nonsense drivel that they give you, that everything is fine, everything's great the way it is. It's not. We can be better. We can always be better. Yes, we live in the richest country in the world. Yes, we live on top of a very powerful and great society. And that is the reason why we need to demand change. The people in this country do not need to live like this. They do not need to live the way that they do. We do not have to continue on this same train. We do not have to continue on this path. And Bernie Sanders is part of that movement. So please, promote Bernie Sanders. Please donate. Please make calls. Do what you can. Make videos. I don't care. Do something. Because doing nothing is exactly what they want. They would rather you stay home and not vote at all. They would rather have another Trump presidency than let Bernie Sanders make any changes. We are far more powerful than they know. And they are threatened by it. That's why they need to cheat. That's why they need to lie. That's why they need to steal. Because they can't win on their own. So you know what? Let's not let them win. Let's just take what's ours, you know? Time for a real political revolution. Let's all rally behind Bernie. We gotta believe in him. I know the doomers in us want to just throw our hands up and say whatever, who cares, there's no hope. But you know what? I'm not quitting. I'm not quitting until I'm dead, okay? Because a better world is possible. It is possible. Thank you.